After a beautiful drive along the famed coastline, I decided to begin my journey by stopping for the night at a literary-themed bed and breakfast called the Sylvia Beach Hotel. Also known as the Book Lovers Hotel, this charming B&B is located in Newport off the central Oregon coast, and its combination of eclectic charm, ocean views, and quiet atmosphere make for a perfect escape. It's also equipped with its own library and reading room where guests can unwind with a good book, have some coffee and tea, play games, take a nap, or just enjoy the views. The only rule is no cell phones. And be warned, you might be joined by the hotel cat, who is always on the lookout for a good lap to share. And for food, they have a family-style restaurant known as the Table of Contents. Now, so is the hotel named after the publisher, Sylvia Beach?
Yes, it is.
So why Sylvia Beach?
I think how she enabled people to make connections, and people that wouldn't normally have met were able to come together. A lot of the writers of the time frame in the 1920s, she had a table for 8 at her bookstore, Shakespeare and Company, and they sat down, became friends, and made the connections, and we're hoping that people can come here and do the same thing.
Now, I noticed you didn't have any TVs in the rooms.
We don't. We don't have radios, telephones, and no Wi-Fi, which is really nice. People don't, they can kind of disengage from maybe what's going on in the world, because it can be stressful, but they can come here and kind of take a vacation from it for a few days and, listen to their own thoughts and just read, which we don't get a lot of time to do in our busy lives.
Okay. Reading aside, this seems like it would be a great place to come clear your mind and write.
It is. It's quiet. You get to look at the ocean, get hopefully inspired. We have a lot of people that journal, and some soon-to-be hopefully writers, published writers, and we also have, some of the famous writers like to come.
Okay, so the famous writers come here.
We've had some people that were published, and we have big publishing groups that come here give workshops on how to improve writing, all sorts of different genres of writing workshops as well.
So what's the most popular room?
Agatha Christie is
the
most popular. Yeah, it books out pretty far in advance, and it's a great room.
Each of the 21 rooms are also themed and include details pertinent to the life of a different author, like F. Scott Fitzgerald, Emily Dickinson, Jules Verne, Tolkien, Shakespeare, and yes, even Dr. Seuss. As for me, I'll be staying in the Agatha Christie room tonight. This room is quite inviting. There's a fireplace, queen bed, double sofa bed, private bath, views in 2 directions of the ocean. It's absolutely breathtaking. And each room is stocked with books from that author. Now, I've been told there's a clue from each mystery hidden somewhere in this room. So for those familiar with her work, I suppose staying here could become a bit of a game. But perhaps the best feature of this room is not what's in the room, but what's just outside it. There's a deck. Agatha Christie is, of course, known for her murder mysteries, the likes of which include Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, and the murder of Roger Ackroyd. But perhaps she is just as well known for her pithy quotes. I think my favorite is, "An archaeologist is the best husband a woman can have. The older she gets, the more interested he is in her." Very clever. Let's take a look at some of the other rooms. Now, my cameraman was staying in the Mark Twain room tonight, which I must say is equally nice. Now, speaking of quotes, Mark Twain might be one of the most quoted individuals of all time. He has provided us with many popular idioms, such as, "It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. The secret of getting ahead is getting started, and it is better to keep your mouth closed and let people think you are a fool than to open it and remove all doubt." But I think my favorite Mark Twain quote is one that has proven itself more truthful than ever in the information age, or as I often like to call it, the misinformation age. And that is, it is easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. After some reflection, I think the Sylvia Beach Hotel was one of the most relaxing places I've had the privilege to stay at. I just wish I could have stayed an extra day. But all good things must come to an end eventually, and it was time to hit the road once again.